Hello, how are you?
Guy, where'd that?
Am I online?
This one, though.
And this is being zoomed to the outer world right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you should just be able to use the arrow keys to advance the
okay. Well, I'll just start yakking. The belly of the beast. And I'm on this. Only reason I'm on a cruise ship is because of a program out of Skagway. It's called an enrichment program for putting people like me on the ship talking about Alaska, and not some plastic bear tooth kid from Colorado talking about our
Right.
bears. They want real people on these boats. So I kind of got recruited to do that, and I'd never been on a cruise ship before, and this is a 7,000 person boat, the Anthem of the Seas. It's one of the Quantum class. And the people's views of cruise ships are varied. Let's go that way, guy forward. It went before. The, yeah,
Okay, now try. There
bingo.
we go.
Yeah, this is in Skagway. 7,000 people. And it's so big. And I went on this, to be invited to do this thing kind of freaked me out. And my wife got to come free. It's a kind of a free trip from Seattle to Skagway and back for doing three 40-minute presentations. And then you got the run of the ship. And of course, all you can eat, your berth is taken care of, and you get on this thing and go completely wall-eyed. It's we as entertainers in my class of entertainment, we don't get the balcony. We're on the really in the belly of the beast, where they've got these a wall-sized screen that's with a cameras aiming outside, so you can open your curtains and you're looking outside through this cell basically that you're in. It's really well thought out with the guardrail and everything. But these guys, uh, it's overwhelming. Here's our ferry in relation to, and that this is what is that? That's Norwegian on the left, a much smaller boat. This is from the pool deck of our boat, looking down at the ferry in Skagway, the prize of our fleet. It's just so massive. It's like you're in an airplane looking down at the rest of the world. And being alongside they kind of follow a pattern. You leave Seattle and you see these same boats, depending on where they pull in and tie up and cast off from. So you're kind of not leapfrogging, but you get these side views of other boats, like our view of. I mean, look at the little people down there. And I was totally wall-eyed. I mean, the for people that haven't been on one of these things, it was so overwhelming that it's hard to even express. It's like you have to be there to even. This is in where's this Juneau, coming into Juneau, and this is like the family of ships, like working our way up the channel. There's It's so overwhelming. You can get on this boat like I did with an opinion. We hear all about these ships and we never get on them, but we see people that get on and off of them. So we're kind of getting our information from them, which is secondhand well, it's firsthand, but they're not on the boat. So you get on this thing and see, we haven't even left Seattle yet. And this is the 7,000, this is Royal Caribbean. And there's a band going, like live music, and these people are in the pool hours before we cast off. And watching the dynamics there. Like, where do these people go when they get on this boat? You find your berth, find your drink, and away you go. And there were 700 kids on this boat, and decks dedicated to children, right down to daycare. And the amazing part of this whole thing to me was the how on earth do they put all this together and have all this happening? I mean, 7,000 people and all the swimming pools, and let alone like the kitchens and the bathrooms and all this water everywhere. And see the little splash pool off to the right. And it was it's that thing on the upper left is it goes up into the air on a giant crane, kind of like a big arm, and you can go out to the side of the boat and look at it from every angle. And again, I'm just being kind of freaked out. Here's the movie screen, the deck at night, and the giant movie screen on the pool deck, and there's always something going there from feature films to really cool stuff. There's your stuff shooting out of the stack, which is, I talk about the atrocity and the magical at the same time. There's no getting around, eliminating that smoke. And I found out that the boat is run totally electrically. The 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 engines are charging the batteries that run the boat. Well, I don't know how that helps, but it's not like people shoveling coal into giant ovens downstairs to make everything work. So I don't know. I mean, what do you say about that? It's and I could get into the trade-off. Like you could spend a week in Seattle running around in your car. I mean, how much pollution are you making yourself? And what are you doing? And you've got 7,000 people on this one boat with one pollution source rather than the 7,000 cars driving around. I don't know what well, I suppose there's a trade-off, but I don't know what it is. But it's what's happening around is so overwhelming that you kind of I don't know. You kind of forget that's happening. I guess that's the idea. It's so incredible that you don't dwell on that kind of thing. Here's oh boy, the pool deck at night. And you can see it's kind of rocking a little bit because the pool sloshes back and forth. And what amazed me with that many people on this boat, the here we go. This is cool. They've got this figured out. And like the engineering aspect to me is I don't know, freaked me out. This is why if you've never been on one of these, we don't sleep. That first 7-day cruise on one of these things, you don't want to miss anything. And this is going on all the time and really clever gizmos. There we go. This is still just leaving Seattle. They do this for 3 days, and then we're in Alaska, and this thing hasn't been used quite that much. But that first day or two is it's all shorts and t-shirts. But what a gizmo that is! It's shooting up at you, the water, so you can just sit there and surf basically in the wind tunnel, which totally freaked us out. We spent hours just watching this happen. And there's an instructor that can throw you up into the air and kind of manage because you could be blown up against the top if you don't really know what's going on. Or he catches you when you go vertical and you plop like a rock. And then you put on these blue jumpsuits and just take turns doing this. And it's really, really outstanding. I mean, that's Disney's best ride. Where could you get a better ride than that? Yeah, think about it. It'd be weightless. Yeah, really cool. And it's I don't know. It's like gizmo heaven. And who designs these boats, designs us into the boat. It's part of the whole top entertainment deck. All this stuff is obviously well thought out. Climbing walls, a bunch of these. And they're all on self-belay systems. They just put you in the harness and there's no belayer or anything. It's like kind of like we have at the fair here. You kids climb up and then they drop off and it lowers them down at the same rate. And just cruising the entertainment deck is, well, here's the boat next to us with their climbing wall. So you kind of get a sense for scale there. But this gizmo, I think, is so so bizarre and weird that it's fantastic. You go up in this thing and you do not even believe it. It's
So you pay extra to do these rides, or you just have to wait in line?
what's that?
Do you pay extra? Like,
The-
do
you
you buy
know,
a ticket to go on
I
it?
think everybody has a little plastic card when you get on the boat. There's no money transaction on the boat. You just show this card and bingo. And whatever it costs is put on your tab, basically.
So it is charged, it's not part of your fees.
Well, for me with a name tag, okay, they gave us a ride.
Oh,
It was kind of cool. And like when they're in port, they give rides and stuff, but probably $5. I don't know what it costs to go up in this thing. And they hover and you can fit 10 to 15 people in that thing. It's really, really just too cool. This is an Endicott arm. This Endicott arm. This depending on the cruise, like the first time we were on it, we didn't go into Endicott. The second time we did go in here, and it's so narrow that to turn around, you with the bow thrusters and stuff, they just do a circle. There's no backing up and forward again. They just do this big circle, and you could almost jump out and hit the shore on each side. It's incredible. Here we go. This, what I really liked about this, one of the best features is the kids, 700 kids on this boat. And the guy behind them is doing soft ice cream cones. That's all he does all day. And these kids get in line, eat this thing in line, and then next, just do this. That's all he does is make soft ice cream all day and all they can eat. And I got a kick out of that. It, and look at the size of those cones. They don't hold back. If the children are happy, the parents are happy. That's what I've found on this. They've got it
Yeah.
figured out so the kids are taken care of. And
Those are happy kids.
oh
One corner
man,
of the height. Boy.
it's so bizarre. This kind of thing. I mean, talk about well thought out, goofy stuff, and just sort of here and there, like randomly placed and meaningless. There's no theme really, other than just kind of this cool thing. But the way the kids are taken care of are just I hung out with the kids a lot because they're the ones adults are what they are. They're all screwed up and we've got opinions and stuff. The kids are just having a blast and the whole industry is really into that. Here we are. Um and this Sharon taking a that's what she's not going to do the next one because this is all she does when we're on this boat, like eat and do this stuff. That kind of boring, really. But you see the swimming pool and
She was up till 2 in the morning doing the cabaret.
the cabaret. That's like saying those of us that haven't been on a boat like this, um, something's happening all the time. You don't want to miss anything. And so by the end of the fifth day, it's so worn out. And another aspect is, boy, if you've got a sniffle, you're in the cage. If you start drooling snot and looking sick and coughing, you're out of there. They'll put you, you know, down there and lock you up. So you can't in quarantine. So you can't. And I'm getting sick on the fifth day. I'm starting to sniffle and get hoarse, and you got to hide it. Like I take a bunch of ibuprofen just before my show, and like let it soak in, and I'm okay for the next 40 minutes. But you can see this is a sunny day, and all these deck chairs are empty. Look at this. This is at sea, and where people migrate to on these boats. On a boat that size, you'd think it'd be wall-to-wall people, but it's not. And there's the bars right behind her. There's a bar within 50 feet of anywhere on the boat. You can get a drink and see the people down below. But there's nobody on the top deck. So you can isolate yourself and really be alone, which is impressive. Look at this at sea. Where is everybody? Um, and then the jogging track goes around the boat, but maybe the activities and things on the boat, everybody, of course, is down below doing their stuff. But we've got this whole thing to literally ourselves. And that was a fun discovery. And I'm sure the industry has figured all that out, but I don't know why more people, well, that shows the mentality right there. Um, Sit outside and stare at nothing? They're waiting for the ports, when you get into the islands and things. There's a fairly rough sea. I've only on a boat this size, there was only one time when it was a stage show. They were doing balancing acts and they couldn't do their thing on a boat this size because they're long, slow rolls. It's not
Yeah.
like this choppy thing. But generally it's you're not walking up and down the aisles bouncing off walls. It's so massive. Here's your rescue boy piling into that thing. I mean, this holds, I don't know how many, 50 people or I mean, those things hold a lot of people. And the pilot sits in that thing and there's a little window at the top that he steers it with and these things are all over the place. I was impressed with the cleanliness and the organization of this, how they do this. I don't know, but some of these have like 1,800 staff members, like people working on the boat. So, and people are everywhere working that you see. Here we go. This is the Beluga Lounge. And it's like you talk about for uh, a certain amount of money, I think it was like $800 or something, you can get a drink ticket and it's all you can drink for your cruise. You just pay that money and get your drinks and some of these people never leave these things. They're in them. I'll go out in the morning, like there's sitting there, and they go out in the afternoon. They're still sitting there and with drinks in their hands, and where the kids are running free. doing all totally entertained. The parents do not have to think about the kids for 7 days. Really. They come home at night. I think they had a curfew where maybe they had little beepers like, come to your birth. The kids had to go home at midnight or something. But man, this is insane. Here we go. The Beluga Lounge. There was a name for this. This is the front of the boat, so you can see what's coming. It's so well like terrace swimming pools, and I don't know. It's like
Window.
the
Yeah.
what about the window frames?
Just the patterns, the baking.
Reflection.
Oh,
Reflection.
yeah, isn't that awesome? I bet they thought that out.
I think they did.
Here's Sharon again. This is in Sitka, and I don't know what that is next to us, but yeah, it got to the point where we did get off in every port, but they're like Sitka, they were there for like 8 hours or something. So you don't spend 8 hours walking around Sitka. Get back on board and eat. You got to eat. Here's Sharon again, and they've got these. This is kind of a pseudo outside lounge, and the positioning of all these lounges. I mean, it's a work of art. I go into the magical and the atrocious aspect of this. The magical is how they design these things. So they're all laid out just perfectly like you're on land. You don't even know you're on a boat. And the places to relax. And a lot of these love seats always had people cuddling in them. It's one of these figured out great for couples. And but atrocious for laying. I mean, break your back though. The angle on these, they're made for laying in and not really sitting in. Here we go. Called these stew pots. The stew pots, there's basically a lot of teenagers in there. But and imagine that. I mean, there's two of these things going, and all the time.
Is that bubbling water?
Hmm?
Is it bubbling hot water?
Bubbling hot water. Oh God. Yeah, you can crank it up to, basically boiling yourself. And I was just wondering, and I'm sure, I don't know if it's correct to say something like this, but boy, there must be a hair filter in there that's really doing the job.
Yeah.
Like filter through the water.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But there you go. That's entertainment for the kids. This is Bloomy Way. This on Royal Caribbean, the size of two tennis courts, and in I'll bet in an hour they had this laser tag inflatable castle all together, and you could. It was I don't know, maybe $5 or something with your card to get your weapons, and people creeping around down in here, and I'm on the second floor, being able to look down at the laser war going on. And then an hour after this, it's all gone, like packed up, and they're doing pickleball on these giant courts. And then the entertainment aspect, like being able to do this just, in an hour, it was pretty amazing. And so this is entertainment for all of us, like looking down into this, watching these guys do their thing. Here we go. And this is the pickleball. This is the same court. When they deflate it, it's bumper cars. And this whole area, there is like basketball, pickleball, rollerblading, stuff is going on here all the time. And up on the next deck, you can see their feet up there. That's like video game rooms that are the size of this room with screens. This is a small screen. And all these cubby holes were like, oh God, it's just unbelievable. And there's a guy on this, some of these things would stall out. And watching the guy that goes around and gets them going again was really fun watching how they keep these machines going. Here we go, the Sunshine Bar. And one thing that I really got into is talking to these guys, like the crew, because all the passengers are, what do they have to talk about? I mean, I'd say half of who's on this boat are coherent, people that we can really relate and talk with. Probably 50%. So that means there's 3,500 of us that we can sit down and have a conversation. Then there's a couple of thousand that semi-coherent. They're just drinking in the tubs. And then there's maybe 1,000 that are seem like incoherent, like the zombie that gets off the boat and stands on Main Street, center line on Main Street.
Yeah.
It's like there's a bunch of those for sure. And the crew is watching everybody. These guys from Indonesia or wherever they're from are really cool. And got into talking to them about it because you hear stories about these poor guys or, you know, I don't know, underpaid and underfed, and like they're disgruntled and stuff, like slaves on these boats. These guys aren't slaves. They're having a really good time. And this is kind of cool. Hey, ladies, what's going on? And just sometime during the day, walking through, and there they are. And they'd never met each other. It's one of these huge social thing. These were probably pretty coherent. These were
Yeah.
pretty fun. There's 16 floors of glass elevators. These things, and there's a big shaft you can kind of look up and down into this thing where these elevators go, like all the way to the pool deck. And this is truly bizarre. And the engineering aspect of this is just unbelievable. This kid, entertainment, this piano's on wheels, and he would just push this thing around on the entertainment decks and go right into the elevator and play music and and people were throwing money at him. I mean, look at the pile of stuff, and I'm sure he's being paid to do it, but the tips are it's insane. And he was so entertaining. He loved kids, and they choose guys like this that can do that. And it's like a fun zone. And here he is. And he could play anything. And without his wig and hat on, you wouldn't even know. He's just this normal guy walking around. Here we are in a quiet evening on the this is sort of the mall, and the Brass Bach pub was excellent. And they got all these boutiques and stores and walking around, and there's you don't even you're like in a mall anywhere. There's no windows to the outside, so you don't know you're on a boat.
Yeah.
And you can just hang out and there's no the boat never totally shuts down. You could hang out here all night till dawn if you want, but things kind of slow down around midnight. The Bionic Bar, whoever thought this one out? Uh, you punch in your drink, and those arms go up and plug into these bottles for exact amounts, including the ice, and then it hands it to you in the end. And you just sit there and type in your drink, and it makes it for you. And it's so slick right into your hand, and these things are so precise. Not a drip comes out of that thing. And that's a gizmo that who thought of that? Just they must have this think tank of geniuses that want to come up with, hey, this is a good idea, and then have engineers put all this together. It's just magical.
I need that in my apartment.
Well, you don't want to walk this 416, it looks like, and behind there, mid-afternoon. These are on the boats everywhere. What's going on today? Like what deck it's on. Skagway. All right. Today's itinerary. Tomorrow Sitka. And
Wayfinder.
and
Yeah.
these diagrams, and these are all over the place, mainly by the elevators, where you're going wherever you're headed. But here we go. This is my first presentation was on the dance hall, they call this. And I'm waiting for my turn to come up. I've got morning aerobics before me, and they've got aerobics instructors, people working with other people continually. And this has wild music going at night. This does all kinds of stuff, and this big screen comes down. That's kind of fun. So I'm waiting for my show. Here's the same stage in the evening.
Massage therapists available.
Hmm?
Massage therapists.
Oh, massage therapist. Oh, God, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's there everywhere?
Yeah.
Well, the boutiques are like, oh man. And here I am going on stage. And the sculptural stuff too. The art is really thought out, like very progressive artists doing displayed all over this boat. Enrichment lecture by me. And then 40 minutes later, I'm at 2:30. So at 3:30, it's bingo. But pretty darn cool how they really do promote you when you're on this thing. Here are these guys. The 270 lounge holds, I think, 600 people probably, and they're trying to figure out how to make my show happen just like what I'm doing here. Just plug in a computer, do a slideshow, and they could not figure it out absolutely at all, and really worried because my 40 minutes is running. People are up there, and they never did figure it out. And so I just kind of got out and started, hey folks, this is what's happening is bingo's coming up, hang out. But so that was kind of baffling for me to see these guys not, and the poor events coordinator, the lady on the left, she was like, oh my God, it was her first rotten too, so she didn't know where to go or who really to talk to. Here's my stage. There I am on stage doing the Haynes show for sure. And you can see kind of rough out there. This, what I, during this show, see, they have no guardrails on that stage. And I came forward to ask somebody, someone said something out of mic. I came forward and I walked right off that stage and hit the deck flat on my face, like a 4 foot drop, flat on my face with the mic. And the audience, it was like you could hear a pin drop. Oh my God, the events coordinator ran out. Are you okay? Because here this geezer falls off stage with a whack, and I just kind of got up. Hey, what was that question? And walked over, just kind of kept doing my thing, and that's when nothing came up. I was having to make ad lib this stuff, and I got slaps on the back through the whole cruise by these guys. Matt was the best recovery I've ever seen. And to this day, I don't know if anybody's fallen off the stage. It was a big thing. But that was really cool. Sharon was in the audience watching this and just couldn't believe it. But
I
I
did
just,
that once in ninth grade and broke my jaw.
oh, they were worried I broke something because they took the guardrails off for me. There's full guardrails on that. And like, I, I could have caused problems maybe if I really did break something. But of course I didn't. I was having fun. So there's my stage, the largest one on Royal Caribbean that I'm on. And here we are again doing the ice field presentation. There's this, so you can see how high that is. I miscalculated. And wow, that was gone. But really cool. So, and they don't even need to close the blinds or because this all does have blinders and stuff, but they've got this giant projection system that's and that's 6 panels up there that rotate around and do stuff too during the cabarets and things. This is the same stage at night, one of the cabarets, and they're pretty entertaining. They have to be. They must screen these people. We saw some shows that were, I don't know, but she was pretty intense, and then her dancers, and the same stage, same setup, same stage. This is during Shush Night. However they figured this one out. See, they've all got headphones on. Everybody's gets these neon headphones, and there's someone's spinning the discs up there somewhere. And you walk into this, and there's no noise. Everybody's gyrating and just the stuff. And some people are going, wow, singing off key. You only hear it with your headphones on. And the little grandmas, I mean, this little kids and grandmas out there just doing their thing. And I put mine on and I was out there. It was like you're in this other world. And whoever thought that on like Shush Night in the audience, a lot of people sitting around just watching this amazing thing. And the bar is up there to the right. There's always the bar within reach. But this was really clever, and I like this. And I would just every night, I think there's 3 or 4 times, I'd just go down to Shush Night just to watch. But literally, you would have these like 90-year-old grandmas off their granddaughter's arms. The grandmas are just gyrating, like spazzing out, and I mean, it was so cool. And little kids all dancing together, really fun. Here's the same stage, and this is something going on. This is what you don't want to miss because this is all advertised. At night is when these stages really put on their shows. And this is ABBA. This was the ABBA Queen. It was ABBA night, and everything was ABBA. It was pretty darn cool. They kind of get into the music where like old people get it too. Everybody's been around ABBA. I mean, that's the 70s, so they
Yeah.
can relate with the music.
Yeah.
This is one of the stage people, and these things, boy, that he could project a light spot this big, like 100 feet away with that thing. It was just so amazing. Here's the main auditorium. And on Royal Caribbean, I wasn't on this stage. This is the Cirque du Soleil stage and all the real, the evening shows that are pretty spectacular. But I bet you're looking at 1,000 people in this thing 'cause I'm only halfway around. A lot of people can pack into these things. He was on that stage. This was a jazz band. I don't know. It's very Las Vegas feeling. The whole thing is a fun zone. This is incredible. These people, and they were on both years. Like the same troupe did a thing this year they did the previous year. and there's holes in the floor as they come up through, and the huge stage in the back, and the projection stuff is just really well thought out. And boy, could they dance and sing! They really screen these troops. I mean, this is really cool. And that train is, I mean, it's all flat screen, but they had this train that kind of came out at you, and it just looks so real. Some of these shows, like we'd watch it from the lower area, and then I'd go back later at night and watch it from the balcony view, so you could look into it and maybe look behind the stage a little bit. This is on that the dance hall stage. She was hot. All the musicians are pretty well thought out. This is in the another one of the lounges off Main Street. This is going. And God, they had reggae bands and calypso, like every kind of music you could imagine. This was really fun. I don't. You can see what I like why you don't get much sleep if you're the second round. I could kind of pace myself. I mean, this is in the brass Bach, and that guy on electric guitar, he could play Pink Floyd, anything on that electric guitar, and he'd kind of get the mood of the people, and they're like, "What do you want to hear?" And I had him do Pink Floyd a few times, and he was spot on, like really good at it, and fun too, like yakking with everybody, and just I'd walk into the bar, and he'd start Pink Floyd right away, like he remembers out of thousands of people.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah. It's nice.
This is all night pizza. This does go, it's free and it goes all night, probably one or two, but all you can eat pizza. These guys back there just cooking pizza is what they do. They're like shoveling these things out. A lot of the kids would hang out here. It was a kid place with not bad pizza either, but very industrial. And they have the kitchen deck tour, and it costs $50 each to do this. Then you go in there with a guide and a full-blown meal afterwards. So they go through these. This is really, you wonder where all this food comes from. And God, I mean, you got the sous chefs and the neckerchiefs determine what chef you are in line. And I think the red was the sous chef, and then yellow was the lower line. There's the blue scarf back there doing something. And it's just this industrial factory that's unbelievable. And on this boat, I think they said they were going through 1,000 pounds of potatoes every day and 12,000 pastries. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Through these dumb waiters just going up to all the restaurants all day. It's this factory and stainless steel and spick and span. And that was good to see. You think there's this, rumors of slop kitchen down below, and they're just throwing this stuff together. It's not that way at all. No, they've really got it figured out.
7,000
And they got a whole crew that's cleaning behind these guys, like these giant. When they make stew, it's in like 55-gallon drum size stuff. It's huge, just massive. These guys are really cool. And all these and then these big dumb waiters take them up to whatever deck they're going to. It's really impressive. And this is acres, all but the size of this probably whole building underneath. One floor is just all this. And then is this the meal afterwards? But they gave us a full-blown meal after that tour. You come out through the side door and they sit you at a restaurant and feed you. This is free food. There's 5 venues that were free. And so you don't have to go what we call the hog trough. The hog trough is where the families go. This is kind of the hog trough in a quiet moment, where they've got huge circles of Asian food, Mexican food, any nationality you want is right there, and it's just all you can eat continually. And I saw people eating like 2 foot high on their plates and just going back and again and again. It's a great place for kids. All you can eat was just amazing. And this is probably the main restaurant for 80% of the people. You can go to the smaller venues that are also free, but this is kind of the hang. Yeah, these guys behind like cooking up gooch all the time. Anything gets. I lived on calamari. The calamari. You take 5 of those plates, eat the calamari, and go back for more. And you can selectively choose your foods. You're eating pretty well. But and because there's the more generic stuff that I suppose anything you're not going to die in a week no matter what you eat. But that's kind of the feeling I got was this is a fun zone and a free for all. People aren't aren't. And then the kids section, all the hamburgers and hot dogs they could eat. And so they had all and mac and cheese. They went right down to what kids like. Got that figured out. There's more hog trough. It's
Pretty fancy
this
hot
is
truck.
kind of entertaining to just watch this happen. And there's three of these a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What the atrocity, and I know I'm talking to the world right now, is the food waste to me. After a dinner, say dinner's done right now, that stuff is left. It all gets chewed up and thrown out the back. It doesn't go downstairs so the staff can eat it, the crew. It's destroyed. And I think, and if you're listening to me out there in rural Caribbean, I don't know how you do it, but shove a container up against this boat when you come into Juneau, and you could feed every poor person in Juneau for a week on one offloading of food. You really could. And that, even some of the crew were going, oh my God, how can this be happening? But FDA and all that, I guess you can't serve day-old chicken wings, that's taboo. And but that to me was maybe more atrocious than stuff coming out of the stacks. You think of the atrocity and stuff. The food waste to me was incredible. And people are just thought maybe that's why they eat as much as they can till they can't even walk and then fall into the jacuzzis and just, oh, here you go. How many of those can you eat? It's just incredible. Then this was probably some of the most fun entertainment was in the restaurants. There you go. Asian. All right. Stir fry. There we go. This is another free boutique where all the calamari on the right. It's six. I could eat that whole lineup of calamari and go back for more calamari. You're not limited to any one thing. And this was really, no kids were in this venue, and you're served. I mean, it was like, I don't know, uptown. And a lot of the people on the boat we found weren't aware of the hog trough is where you go. Like, weren't aware of these other like hidden away bistros and things where you could go and eat a quiet meal. Hey, there's Kevin. This these guys, we do tip, one of those kind of things, like definitely. And the workers above deck, I know they have to be nice to you, but they like being nice to you. It isn't like they're being forced to be that way. And once you tip a guy like this, like Kevin is, every time he sees you, it's just like so cool. He'll clue you in on what's good today and that kind of thing. And that really cool. So that was Royal Caribbean. This is Cunard, the Queen Elizabeth, which is only 2,500 people. And the difference, Sharon is definitely going to go on the Queen Elizabeth this time because the difference was so vast. And uh, and it actually ties up in Haynes,
Yeah,
which
we
is really
see it.
cool. So here it is in Haynes. And then you look at it still seems massive, still a huge boat, but probably 3,500 people on this thing. I don't know with crew what it actually holds. And here's the only pool on this one. And you can see there's of course a bar underneath there and whatever's going on all around it, but the same basic layout as the larger guys, but much more intimate. Here we're in Glacier Bay, and this was cool. And kind of everybody's on deck for this. And we had a beautiful day, and it was really, really good. But I can't say, I mean, enough good things about, as far as I haven't been on all the cruise lines, but the Queen Elizabeth to me is sweet. I don't know what that is coming into. Oh, this is Ketchikan and another princess. I guess this, and I'm going to do a princess cruise to Whittier. Get on in Skagway and do one presentation, get off in Whittier. And this is about the same size as the Queen Elizabeth, like 2,500 people. Never been on one of those. Stateroom, not bad. We had a window on the Queen Elizabeth, which was really a treat. You could look out, see what's going on, and not a bad room. I mean, very nice and a really cool bathroom. There's your screen. You can turn on your TV every day, and it's closed circuit, so they have all the events of the day that's happening. The shows I did, you could see on that evening, or like any time during the day. They've got that thought out. Here's on my TV. There I am. Let's see, what am I doing? Oh, Susan Butcher. She was part of my ice field show, but this is watching myself at night, like how it actually turned out, and really sharp and really cool to see me down in the right hand corner, kind of like what we should be doing here, I guess. I'm not in the right hand corner. And high tea on the Queasel. This is every afternoon at 3, the high tea, and you just pick your seat, and this happens, and these guys come out, all you can eat in a white glove service. Sharon taking her pick, and they just make the rounds and all the tea you can drink. And there's music on stage happening, and just unbelievable. And boy, you talk about spoiling your dinner appetite doing this. High tea is we were recommended. Oh, you got to do high tea, and yeah, we didn't miss one for anything. Here's pretty darn cool. And so there's some regular people on the back right side. It isn't like a tux and thing for everybody, but they do recommend you don't wear torn jeans and you know
Yeah.
thongs. I don't on this boat, but it was definitely uptown, definitely. Here's some of the entertainment on that on the Queen's Room. This was like an incredible jazz band, and the vocals were really cool. There's the Queen's Room. This is also where high tea happens in this room. But and a lot of like ballroom dancing. It was the people on this boat tended to be more, I don't know, middle aged and in their 60s and 70s, and like so all these geezers out there like doing the swing dance. So I don't think they know how to do. They were tuned into the that kind of dancing for these people. These guys were incredible. They're in one of the pubs, and they were absolutely every pub song and they were from Ireland, and they knew all the music, and they were totally entertaining. And we hung out there quite a bit, and I met him in the one of the late night cafeterias. I'm in there, and this guy walks in on the left, and he's kind of holding his head like, "Man, how you do it? Are you having a good time in this wood?" He goes, "I got to get off this damn thing." He'd been playing so long, he was so burnt out that he needed to get off. And he was kind of at the end of his tethers. And how long can you do this? It's really, but he was, I mean, what a job. You just sing
Yeah.
and hang out.
Yeah.
He was on the back deck. But then they like these hodgepodge, it's kind of like the Haynes marching band on the right there. I mean, you could have anybody out there. To see Tom Morfitt in the this is in another in on the Queen Elizabeth, one of the big lounges in a bar. And then this swing dancing on this, they had this high raised area where this was like disco balls going up late into the night. And these people come up and they had somebody spinning discs and but boy, like that woman with the skirt on, she could dance. I mean, this really attract people that can really show their stuff, and she was just magic. And but it's a small enough boat you can actually talk to people like that. You don't see them once and they're gone. It's a pretty small space, all in all. Here's my stage. This is the only auditorium on this boat. I looked at this and oh my God, I'm going to be on that stage. It's impossible. It's just so, you know, almost Star Wars in a weird way. Very swank and well thought out. Here's a look at my view of who's up there. There's probably holes. I don't know how many seats are there. Up at 500 people, possibly, maybe more, because there's a lot back behind there that you're not really seeing. There it is. There's my audience walking down to the stage. Pretty intense. It's it's cool when you're on stage looking out at all these faces that and I'm sure all the entertainers on these boats see the same thing and think that they're all looking at you, and you can pretty much analyze what their attention span might be and what they're into and whether they're holding drinks or not, and working you're not working the crowd, but you're working with them, like asking them questions, like let them know that I'm just another geek on the boat, and doing my stuff, and get them being part of the act in a way. Here's that control booth, which is pretty incredible. Here's my show on that stage doing the Denali thing. But yeah. And I had a head mic for this, which was really cool. The head mic's the way to go because you can flap your arms around and do stuff. But cool. Here's on that same stage later. She was hot on the same stage. And you got these kind of acts just and on the Queen Elizabeth, I didn't want to miss any of the shows because there was one stage and it was pretty well timed, so you could see them all. During dinner, they weren't having these, but pretty incredible. This is going on sort of between somewhere on the boat, sort of the central area on the boat, but like string bands. I mean, I don't know. It's just not what you'd expect. It's like you could imagine Titanic being. It's kind of got those feelings, like the staircases and just the way the chandeliers are pretty well thought out. Here's a free meal. Man, that guy, uh, it's a buffet, but it's not a hog trough. It's like a long buffet, and you just work your way along and pick what you want. And this guy, boy, the outer skin of that was burnt off, up that crispy stuff. You want to be there right there and just slice that stuff off. And that thing was down to the bone in about 30 minutes. Oops. What could that be? This is the equivalent of that hog trough. Oops, what happened there? But you can see kind of the layout of that. Help me! Well, I should when I'm on stage.
This video.
Was that the?
Well, what happened? Batteries are dead. I guess I'm still being okay. So forward. Lost my cursor. That was leading to something important. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're in Haines, Alaska right now, and sometimes things do this. So please bear with us. We'll be back online before you know it. And what could be coming up next? I don't even know.
They are online. It's actually it looks like the photo software.
It's bright and sunny in
Yeah,
Haines right
right.
now, probably approaching 45, 50 degrees. The snow's almost gone. Um,
Let's start this up again.
the format is there we go. Whatever that is.
Okay. Guess we got to skip that one and we'll go
Okay,
straight to this one.
grudgingly skip that one. It was so full of information. Back on I mean, this is hardly any people there. I was gonna, something was important I was gonna say, and well, so the this was pretty cool. The top deck, the pool deck on the Queen Elizabeth. Uh, maybe this. Here we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay. So, yeah.
In your picture. And then hit the arrow.
Bear with us, please. Okay.
Is that?
So this is a smaller boat, not the Queen Elizabeth in Glacier Bay. But, lost my train of thought. There was something very important I wanted to say, but oops. Okay, this is the naturalist got on at Bartlett Cove and through the Glacier Bay thing. That was really cool. Oop. And on this, we came out of Glacier Bay. There we go. Yeah. We came out of Glacier Bay, and that's Mount Fairweather up there, and went out from Icy Straits and turned around out in the Gulf. And that was really a treat. Yeah, pretty crazy. And I guess on this princess thing, we're going to go out around to Yakutat and be on the outside, which should be pretty exciting.
The time of year you did these shots.
Hmm?
What time of you? These-
This was August, like mid-August. Oh my God. Bear with me, please, out there. We'll be back soon. Here we go. So that's kind of that. And these illustrations came out of that, these cruises. And selfie sticks, everything this is more truthful than not, really. I'm doing a whole series on the these boats. Here's another one. But and I'm explaining to people on the boats what it's like to be in a place like Haynes when the first boat arrives, like how we're all well, like we are right now, like waiting, and here it's going to be coming, it's going to be coming, and this is what it feels like. And this is what you guys look like to us in a sense, and they kind of get that. I forgive them for being zombies. There's only so much, you got to play with the group, like these guys. I'm doing the Swarm series is what I've been doing. Here's the latest, and I even have them coming out of the anchor holes, like ants swarming. And for those of you out in that are seeing this on the outside, there's more of these coming up for sure. And that could be the end of this selection. Uh, yeah, yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a blast. I can't wait to get on any of these boats again. I know my limits now and what my tolerances are. I know where to eat, who to meet. And oops, so I can go for it. Maybe that's because it's the last one. Okay, boink, 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 boink. There we go. Now we're line. Boink, and that's it. It just doesn't go any further. So I'm so glad you could make this. It was just changed my life. Just, oh my God, to share my feelings and my views.
Let's
Is,
take a look at this ship. We don't.
is this an open mic? Yeah. So thank you, Royal Caribbean and Cunard. Can't wait. And Princess coming up. See what's going on. I'm sure I'll show you a good time if I'm before bingo and after trivia. We'll see how it goes. All right. Oh boy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's my privilege to be here in front of you all.
So if they have bingo and trivia, it's just.
It isn't.